What's up, guys? I'm Vernon here, back again. How's everybody doing on their end? So, back again, as I told you guys. Back again, as I told you guys, I was gonna be back again. Welcome back to another review. We're gonna talk about the books that I purchased for the month of October 11th. I did the books for the books I purchased for the October 4th, but now we're gonna talk about the books of October 11th. Right here. Like I said before, I'm doing my reviews as well as things a little differently. For example, like I said, I don't pick up books now every week now. I pick them up every other week. So I pick up 2 weeks of books the following week. But as always, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this review. We got some Marvel, of course. We got some indie. And we got some DC. So we're going to start with Marvel, Independent, and end it with some some DC. So let's kick it off with all new Wolverine. If you get a good look at that, sorry about that. Let me put it this way: all new Wolverine. This is issue number 25, Orphans of X, Part 1. Tom Taylor still does a great job with this. So this issue starts with Daken, who I'm not a big fan of either. Not being supposedly blown up by a group of individuals calling themselves the Orphans of X. And Laura is called in to kind of almost ID the body. Like, all we find is a hand. Now, is Daken dead? He's been dead before. I mean, he stayed dead. But it was interesting indeed. You know, it was still interesting indeed. That's mainly the gist of it. But still, Mr. Taylor does a good job with it, you know. Thank you for this. Don't really care too much about Daken, but thank you. I'm so interested in the story. All right, let's move on to Amazing Spider-Man number 789. Unfortunately, they got this number completely wrong because that's not true. Uh, Marvel has included Superior Spider-Man into the numbering, legacy numbering. That's not true. You screwed over, Marvel. That's not the truth. That's not the gist. But this is the first part of the Fall of Parker. Dan Slott. Guys, I met Dan Slott. Yes, I did. I met Dan Slott at this year's Comic-Con. He Friday. He wasn't supposed to be there yet because he was coming Friday, but I saw him. Me and Malcolm, after I met Gail Simone, we was walking and this guy walked by us, and I'm just like, that guy looks familiar. And so we ran up to him and said, "Sir," turned around, it was Dan Slott. Now, you guys are probably going to ask, did I flip out on him? No, I didn't. I didn't do any of that. I wasn't. He was gonna shake my hand, but he said, "I got a cold," so we gave an elbow bump. Like, okay, but I was just being more respectful. I was like, no, don't pull that. But here, what about this story? It seems Marvel wants to take Peter back to his his roots, you know, as to being that character that is very relatable. You know, he's struggling, or he doesn't know where his next, his bill's gonna come from. He's got bills, blah blah blah. So they basically took away everything that. I didn't hate the fact that they evolved this character, gave him a job. He was like the Steve Jobs, but yeah, he's not money anymore, no money. And we see Peter. He's down on pretty much. He's depressed. He's down on his luck. He's living in an apartment with Bobby Morris, aka Mockingbird, and he goes out and he's just mauled by people. People are just like, it's Peter Parker, get him! You know, they're trying to kill him because of what happened. People don't know the real ins and outs of why he had to get Parker Industry up and things like that. It's just it's really bad to see Peter like that. It's just like, usually Peter can just walk by, nobody really pays him no mind. You know, it's always about his alter ego. But here, it's really sad. He goes to see Robbie, you know, because Robbie printed this post right here. Peter Parker, uh, threat or menace, you know, and he's just like, Robbie, how could you write this about me? Like, I'm a threat, I'm a menace, like, and you know, like, I thought we were friends, and it's really depressing to see this, you know. And Robbie kind of gives it to him straight, like, most of it's kind of true, Peter. You were way over your head and things like that. But it's like, this is coming from Robbie, you know, the man who respected Peter and as Spider-Man, saying this. And you know, it's really, this is really depressing. I was reading this, I'm just like, you know what, I don't like this. I'm not liking this at all, you know. And Mockingbird, she comes back and she just says, she throws him his costume. It's like, come on, we're going out. And they go out patrolling. And Spidey and Mockingbird deal with Griffin. It's, you know, it's interesting to see Griffin, you know, the half lion man, half, you know. And uh, the people, once again, are just all over Spidey. Like, once it feeling like old school Spidey, like, get out of here, Spider-Man, blah. And Mockingbird's like, what's wrong with you people? He's trying to help you and things like that. And a little bit of a just because that old Parker luck comes back on him and it helps out. But yeah, it was really hard, depressing to see. Like, even when at a party, Betty Brant actually told Peter to come to what you need, Peter, is a party. Flash is having a birthday, you know, things like that. And Peter was gonna come, and you just see everybody just talking about Peter behind his back, like, Master Peter, you know, it's like this and that. And Peter's hearing all this, and he just leaves. He leaves because it's just like, I don't want to hear this. Like, these are supposed to be my friends. Mary Jane, everybody's just, you know, Harry's there trying to help, trying to diffuse the situation, saying like, look, it's not his fault, you know, but it's like that Parker luck, man. This was just really depressing to read at times, you know. It wasn't bad, but it was just depressing because I don't want to see Peter kind of dwindle down. I want to see him evolve, not devolve, you know. Um, I know, Marvel, you want to bring him back to being like what made him what he is, but you can kind of do that without, you know, I just, you know what I'm saying? It's just really bad. I didn't cry, but that felt really bad for Peter. I'm just like, man, not again. Like, come on. Um, the one thing I'll say about this, what I got to get used to again, is the whole this new relationship between, you know, Mockingbird and Spider-Man. Like, they're dating now. That's I got to get used to that. That's gonna get used to. But looks like the old Parker luck's still kicking, and you know where I mean. That, you know, it's like Peter always finds a way to get some very attractive women as his girlfriends. You know, but you know, the only thing that's going to be interesting is seeing. I wonder if they're going to play it up maybe once in a while, where Peter may go tell Hawkeye, "Hey, I'm Spider." You know, or Bobby even says, "Yeah, I'm dating Spider-Man." Like, and Hawkeye comes out like, "You're dating my ex-wife." You know, just what? Wait, Bob. I mean, you're divorced. You know, like, come on. Anyway, moving on. We move on to Amazing Spider-Man: Renew Your Vows, number 12. Ryan Stegman does the writing this time around. This is the conclusion of the current story that was going on. Remember, Mary Jane had the Venom, the symbiote, on, and Little Normie gave control to someone who else. Little Normie basically gave control to, like, a goblin sentinel, pretty much, who has the powers of regime in him, regent in him, and the X-Men are there to help, but all that's going to do is have this robot steal their mutant powers, and it even steals Peter's powers. And it was really interesting, especially the ending. I really enjoyed the ending where we saw Normie, and matter of fact, I'll show it to you. We see Anne and Normie um, hug it out. They hug it out. Normie apologizes for everything. And and what's the coolest thing? I'll show it also to you. The story picks up 8 years after, so we see Anna and a little older now. She's older, and she's got a new costume, and now she's swinging with mom and dad, which is cool. I was wondering if they were going to maybe do a time skip and show her older, which is fine. I'm getting more of a Spider Girl vibe now, definitely from this. Mayday. Another one of Peter's daughters from Earth 982, but not that. All right, next up, Charles Soule, Daredevil number 27. I'm sorry about that glare. So we got Soule and Garney back together. Yes, Daredevil is going to go back to its legacy number, which is great. Which needs to be. I think that's true. And in this, Matt is he's being held captive by the Hand, and we see the person who is holding him captive, his protege, Blind Spot, who now has eyes again. Remember, he got his eyes ripped out by that Inhuman guy. I'm forgetting his name right now. Popped it right out, and now what is Blind Spot's real name again? I'm trying to remember his name again. Oh, is Martin? No. What was his name again? Sam Chung. Um, we get to see Sam finally gets to see that Matt is Daredevil and things like that, and he's like, so you're Daredevil. I didn't, I should have put it together, and Matt's talking to us saying like I didn't want to keep that from him, but and we get a little bit of a crash course, Blind Spot 101, like his origin, like where he's from, what he did, and things like that. In terms of like he's from China. He's Chinese born, but was came to America. His sister is American born, so she's a citizen, but he's not. Um, we also get to see where he learned how to fight. He was in the same kind of opera theater, like like Jackie Chan and all those. He even says it like, I went to the same school that Jackie Chan and Jet Li went to learn, things like that. I was like, and he says that's why I was always good at fighting and things like that. I knew, and you thought he even said you thought I was your protege, but I was already good at fighting, things like that. It was almost like Sam is like telling Matt like, you never really taught me anything. And I'm just like, damn, like it's kind of sad. Um, but we get the reason why Sam got his eyes back. And that's the one thing Matt's like saying, like, what did you do? How did you get your eyes back? I mean, even in point, Sam was like, are you really blind? Like, that gets the question I think everybody asks is when they find out that Daredevil is Matt Murdock. Is like, are you really blind? And he's like, yeah, I'm really blind. Yeah, and I think people forget that. Matt is blind. He can't see. He can't really see. it's it's a little different, but still we see that he made a deal with the demon. and yeah, he made a deal with the demon that the hand follows for a soul. Whose soul? I'm not gonna ruin that. Not at all. Next up, we have the Defenders, number 6. Bendis Marquez. Marquez's artwork is just so beautiful. So beautiful. This is Kingpins of New York. As we all know, there's a battle to take over Kingpin's spot. Felicia Hardy, the returning Diamondback, or I should say, um, Willis Stryker, and these two have a fight, and Willis is now all juiced up on some sort of steroid now, and he nearly beats the crap, nearly kills Felicia. And if it wasn't for the Defenders to come to help him, help her, yeah. And Luke and him just have it out. I mean, Luke, Luke actually picks up a car and just smashes it on. And he just says, he turns to Jessica and says, I'll buy you a new one. And she says, Danny's gonna buy it. It's pretty funny. And after they capture, Diamondback or Willis Stryker, Matt Daredevil was like saying he's not gonna. This is not gonna get to court. They're gonna. This is not gonna go well. He's Matt, and you see it. Matt's in prison, in court. Doing his job, and basically Willis gets off. He kind of gets off because of the situation they dealt, the hand they were dealt. But they still need to talk to Felicia, who is pretty much just beat up in a coma. Not bad. Not bad at all. But as you all know, because Kingpin is actually running for mayor, Wilson Fisk running for mayor of New York. But it's who Stryker is working for that was just like, wait, what the? How? Really? Word? Bendis again caught me. Mine was blown. I should have saw it coming, but I didn't. Next up, we have is, first of all, I want to make sure I get the writer right so I don't mess up. Okay. All right. Next up, we have is Falcon number 1. Take Flight, Part 1. We have Rodney Barnes and Casada does the artwork. So yeah, Sam had a pretty long run as Cap. Why he gave the shield back? Well, that's because for Steve to, after what happened, it's just like there are some people out there that probably don't trust Steve. Even though everybody saw there were 2 Captain Americas. So, but yeah, Sam is back in his original, his own character again. This is his baby. This is who he is. He's the Falcon, and he wants to make that truly a legacy. But he's got a new suit. And I like the new suit. It's really cool. I like the new design. It's really cool. And he's got a new protege. The new Patriot. His name is Rashawn. Okay, now, first of all, let me talk about that. When they announced that there was going to be an all-new Patriot, I was like, why, Marvel? Why not just bring Eli Bradley back? Civil War, Secret Empire would have been the perfect opportunity to bring Eli Bradley back into the fold. That would have been perfect. An older Eli Bradley, like, okay, I got to get back. Because what was the reason why Eli stopped being a Patriot? Because Cassie Lang died. She's alive now. Bring him back. But I'm not gonna lie, this new Patriot is pretty good. He's smart. He's from Brooklyn. Um, he even said, "I'm from Crooklyn." You know, that's a nickname for Brooklyn guys. If you, especially anybody not from the New York area, he's just like, yeah, but he's really smart. He's the one that helped design. He's the one that designed. I believe designed Sam's new suit. But what's the deal with this? Okay, so Sam is in Chi-Town, baby. He's in the Windy City, and he's out there along with the new Patriot, Rashawn, and basically they are pretty much a uh, trying to stop a war that's brooding between these two local gangs. It's kind of like Sam is trying to stop the a war between the Bloods and the Crips, pretty much. I'm trying to remember their names. Um, they're uh, they're the two largest gangs in Chicago. The gangs are called one is called the Southstone Rangers, and the other one is called the Spanish Kings. So it's and the Southstone Rangers are an all black gang, and the other one, of course, is all Spanish. So Sam and Patriot break up to try to make a peace treaty between them, like come to and which was really cool was you see them they're actually getting through to these people, getting through to the two leaders. Like, look, like call a truce right now, and the mayor's kind of somewhat cool with it, but also he's got to put his little dick measuring like nudge Sam and like saying, well, you're not really a cop, and how can we really trust somebody who you know was good friends with Captain America? And it's just like, really? But they do come to a treaty. First of all, I like the cover. I'm not gonna lie, that cover's pretty. But we come to see this happen, and it seems like everything's going well. They're gonna shake hands. Two leaders are gonna shake hands. Maybe like call a truce. Unfortunately, that's not how it goes down. I won't ruin what happened, what started, but yeah. And then it's the ending, y'all. It's the ending of who the mayor really is that just like I looked at them like, Mr. Barnes, really? You're gonna have Sam go against somebody like that who is way out of his league. I'm like, okay, I'll see where this goes. Who that is, I'll give you a clue. His father is red. Um, and from his own dimension. And Black Panther has dealt with him. Doctor Strange has dealt with him. Yeah, I'm not going to ruin who it is. But, yeah, I was like, really, Mr. Barnes? We going? Really? Sam is dealing with that guy? Okay. All right, next up we have is Uncanny Avengers number 28. Stars and uh, Garters number 1. Jim Zub does the writing. And yeah, this does happen. It's always good to see Simon and Beast because they were good friends. They've always been good friends. Reminiscing about what's been going on with them in their lifetime. Simon just returned back to life somehow because Rogue had absorbed him and things like that. But um, Beast is basically talking about how he's kind of like ins and out with mutants. Like he did this. Matter of fact, let me read it. It's better if I read it. I don't want to ruin what he said, but pretty much uh what is it? Pretty much uh Beast goes on and says he says like this. He's like, my intellect and my scientific capabilities have given ways to devil may care concepts. Just like when I first drank the serum that made me this blue furry mess. He's talking about when he first drank, that turned him furry, which I love. I love Beast. I love you, Blue. So don't stop. Okay. And then he says, I mucked up with time travel and wrecked the lives of 5 kids who deserve better, including a younger version of myself. I betrayed mutants as I tried to cure a plague that threatened to wipe us out, and then tried to get back into their good graces by acting as a diplomat for a new tyranny with Hydra. I watched fascists spread and looked the other way instead of fighting it tooth and nail. Being smart doesn't mean I actually know it all. I've become a case study for intellect hubris. And Sam goes into detail about him. Basically, they're playing up the whole legacy stuff. You're seeing like their origins play out. And Simon even goes on to talk about why why he's a pacifist now. Yes, for everybody who doesn't know, Wonder Man is a pacifist now. He doesn't want to hurt anybody anymore. He wants to do good in the world, because they've kind of always switched Simon back. Remember at one point, the ionic energy was leaking into his brain, so he started going crazy and that's why he attacked the Avengers and everything like that and formed the Re-Avengers and things like that. But in the long run, we see them fighting Whirlwind, right here. You can see them fight Whirlwind. And then, of course, there's a good scene between Rogue and Janet telling Rogue about, you should, why you should be leading the team, the Unity Squad, even though they supposedly broke up. And Rogue is like, I'm not a leader. Rogue, that's a damn lie. Anna, I love you, girl, but that's a damn lie. You don't lie. Don't lie, because you have been a pretty damn good leader. You led your own X-Men squad, and I loved it. I love you, girl, so don't oversell yourself short. I'm just saying. But she's like, you should lead him, and Janet and Rogue is like, you should lead it. You're a founding member of the Avengers, and things like that. But the real gist of also, besides the whole Beast and Simon actually stopping Whirlwind rob a bank and everything like that, is more on the fact of the team rebuilding the mansion. And you see Scarlet Witch right here and Brother Voodoo summon, what are they called? These Cyttorak servants. Basically what if they see anything messed up, they will rebuild it. The Satora, that's their name. Minions of the, Cyttorak. But even other than that, it's more on account of Johnny. That's where I really wanted to go with this. It would seem that Johnny a lawyer comes to them, and a lawyer comes to Johnny and basically tells him that Reed has left him something, and it's about your brother-in-law and your sister, and this was really hurt because I'm like, Johnny, really? He's like, look, Reed and Sue are dead. The kids are gone. I'm just like, Johnny, you really believe that? Like, you really believe your brother-in-law, one of the smartest men ever, is really gone? He would find a way, and we all know that they're very much alive. But this lawyer basically gives him a contract, or discharges the results that that Johnny is the sole heir to all of the possessions of Reed, who has done a lot, has gained a lot of money because of that. And let me tell you how much. Johnny will have the total of $5,196,000,000 $353,518.41. That's how much money Johnny's going to be getting for all the worldly things that Reed has done for the world. All his inventions, everything he sold, everything he's given the world. That's how he's the sole heir. And that was something that he did. But it ends with a certain somebody coming, and I'm not gonna ruin who that was, but you should kind of have a clue. But this is interesting. So is Johnny a billionaire? Well, kind of he is. He's a billionaire now, thanks to his brother and sister. Let's move on to Weapon X number. What is this? Number 9. Greg Pak, Fred Van Lint. This is the hunt for Weapon H. I like the idea of Weapon H. I was not against it. I'm like, okay, this should be interesting. Hulk with adamantium claws and everything in him. We get to see now. The team is pretty much still on the. They got wiped the fuck out, last time, and they're still tracking him. We get to see who Weapon H, his human form is, and what he looks like, and why, what's the motive, and things like that. I'm not gonna ruin that, but Old Man Logan brings in Laura to help track him down. So you got 4 of the best trackers on the world: Sabretooth, James Proudstar, aka Warpath, my boy, Logan, and Laura tracking this guy. And we get to see what's more of the ordeal. What's Willis Stryker's ordeal into this? William Stryker. I said Willis. William Stryker, and everything like that. But yeah, not bad. And yes, see, no more. No land artwork. Thank you, God. I'm done with that. Oh, why do you keep giving this guy work, Marvel? Why? Anyway, let's move on. X-Men Blue. And this is part 2 of Mojo Worldwide. And the team is still trapped in Mojo's world. And in this one, it's getting crazy. It's getting gritty. With the team, there was a death in this. I'm not going to ruin who that was. But we see the return of Longshot. And of course, you know how he is, taking over my space time. It's still always about ratings. It's still all about ratings. You know what I'm saying? So he's still like that. It's like, okay, I'm gonna help you guys out, but also get my spot in because it's my TV time as well. But there is a death. I'm not gonna ruin who it is, but there's a death. There is a death. What else can I say? Without ruining too much, the ending is like, okay, where's this going? But not bad, Mr. Bunn. Not bad at all. And that's all the Marvel I had for that week. I'm sorry, guys. I already put all the codes for my Marvel books on Twitter, my Twitter account. So, you can find them if you go to my Twitter page and you look down. You can see them. Hopefully, they haven't been taken. They probably have. I'm not sure. So let's move on to Aftershock comics. Excuse me. And we're back to Paul Jenkins and Layla Les Alters number 7. So we got Charlize. Remember, this is basically he's transgender. This character, his name is Charlie, but he's a transgender superhero. And he's more comfortable as Charlize. And they're kind of like mutants as well. Here, Charlize is basically tracking someone like her who can walk through walls and things like that. And she's a young mom she's been evicted from her house, and she's living in her car with her two boys, and she's just trying to keep them from starving. She's stealing food just to eat. And Charlize gets involved, and later on, there's another situation that happens. That's pretty much the gist of it. Nothing too fancy, nothing but just straightforward. You got this woman with powers, and she wants to do right by her kids, and that's it. A touching story, basically. Move on to Image with the Youngbloods. I was a big fan of the Youngbloods. Yeah, I was a fan of something, really big fan of something that was created by Rob Liefeld. I don't have no regrets about being a fan of the Youngbloods, but it's good to see them back. And the only thing I'm going to dish out is, do I want to ruin anything? Suprema had a good moment. I will say that. But no Shaft. And I'm not talking about Richard Roundtree. No, I'm talking about Shaft, the archer of the team. He's not in this issue. But let me see. Do I want to give? I don't. I really don't. But I will say that something nearly bad happens to Badrock in this. But other than that, this was a good issue. Very good issue indeed. Yeah, the Youngbloods, number 6. Good to see them back. And well done, Image, for lasting 25 years. You know, you started in 92. I'm glad to see that you're still around. You know, it's good to see companies have a longevity like that. All right. So that's all the indie books. I only had 2 indie books that week. But now we're on to the DC books. All right, I got 4 for you guys. All right, we'll start off with Superman Action Comics number 989. And this is the Oz Effect number 3. As you all know, we found out who Oz is. Is it really him? Yes. Is Oz really Jor-El, Superman's father? Is it really him? And why is he acting the way he is? In this issue alone, Jor-El, Superman confronts Oz. They're talking. He's like, "Are you really my father?" And Jor-El is telling him to leave Earth, take your family and leave. You know, because humankind are not worth your time. They're monsters. They're violent. They're everything that I guess, you know, that I didn't believe they were. But then I scratched my head because I'm like, wait a minute. Jor-El, you knew about Earth. So how are you saying this now? That's why I'm not believing that this is really Jor-El. You know, but Superman's like, I'm not leaving. I won't leave. I'm not leaving at all. And there's nothing you can do to make me. And that's where the plan starts going into fruition. Jor-El goes to see Lois, and he gets to see his daughter-in-law, and she's kind of confused too. She's like, is that really Jor-El? You know? And then he even goes to see his grandson, John, and he starts putting all this stuff into John's head about, you know, you don't have a lot of friends here, do you? You know, and because you're different, and, you know, poison in this young man's head. It's just like, this can't be Jor-El. I'm just like, this can't be. This cannot be him. You know, and that's pretty much the gist of it, you know. And I don't buy it. I don't buy it's Jor-El. But this was a pretty good issue. But I don't buy it. I'm not buying that. This has got to be some Jor-El from some other dimension or so, because not only he's missing one eye. It's just like, oh my god, what happened to him? Things like that. Okay. Next up is Detective Comics number uh, 966. This is The Lonely Place of Living. Um, Tilling the Fourth Barrels. This was kind of weird. I was like, okay, what is this? Who is this Batman? Because this is not Bruce. I was just like, is that Tim? Is what? Who is this? Who is this? And that was the weirdest thing about it. It was just really kind of interesting and just really kind of weird at the same time. It got me. I had to read it like twice, like, but that's kind of the gist what I got from it. I was like, is this a future Tim or what is this? Who is this? But it's not Bruce. I was kind of confused, guys. So if anybody knows, please help me with that one. All right. Next up, we have The Flash, number 32. Welcome to Iron Heights, Barry Allen. Hope you make it out alive. Barry and an associate are off to Iron Heights prison, and they're seeing what's going on. Now, you got to remember, Barry still has the power of the negative Speed Force in him, and Wally's trying to help him with it, and it's kind of helping, but the story really revolves around Barry and his associate Kristen in Iron Heights, and the warden is kind of like a douche, and he's just like, they're telling them, you just let them fight, you letting the prisoners fight each other, yeah, they're criminals, blah blah blah, nobody cares about them, you see Godspeed in there fighting Heat Wave, and it's just crazy. They see the rogues in there. It's like, why do you still got them in their costumes and everything like that? And it's just like, he's just like, don't ever call them the rogues. They're criminals, and it's just, this warden is just kind of weird. And Christian even says, like, Barry, are you believe in this? And kind of Barry kind of is agreeing with the what this warden is doing, and she's like, really, like, and I'm kind of like, really, Barry? Or, they may be prisoners, but still, you still treat them humanely. Don't treat them like animals. And that's kind of how this warden is treating them, and it's kind of like, Jesus. And that's pretty much the gist of it until the end, where Barry runs into another speedster that he's familiar with. I'm not gonna ruin it, but yeah, this was a kind of a one and done issue. Nothing really fancy. Okay, now as you guys know, for me now, I do picks of the weeks, and I follow the same guidelines that my mentor Blue Goblin follows. What is the book? The book that I enjoyed the most out of my stack for the week. So the week of the 11th, October 11th, this was my pick of the week. Wonder Woman, number 32. Children of the Gods. This is under Robinson, Davila. Rucker left. Wish he didn't. Gonna miss you, Mr. Rucker, but thank you for the great stuff you did. This is the story. It says The Treasures of Hercules. Why did this mean so much to me? Why? Because this was a story I was actually looking forward to reading. This was a story I was hoping DC was going to do. And what I mean by that, I was hoping that, because now that in this, Diana is the daughter of Zeus, who's her brother. She has famous brothers, Hercules being one of them. However, Diana is called in, I think it was Star Labs or so. Let me make sure. With Steve. Argus. Yeah, they're at Argus Central Command, and there's a body. And they ID it as none other than Hercules. Let me repeat that once again for you. The body is Hercules. Hercules. Hercules is dead. Hercules. Who killed him? They didn't say who killed him, but he's dead. And someone that knew Hercules delivers a message, like almost like a will and testament, to Diana. And they're talking about him. They're like, Diana, did you know him? She's like, only by reputation. I know his reputation. And there was always this question of some of it. They've always questioned. They always had it in DC's Hercules. Was he good? Or he was kind of good, but then he was also bad. I remember in one story they actually admitted that Hercules had raped several of the Amazons, and I'm just like, that's not the Hercules I want to remember. But in this, Hercules is writing to Diana because he knew about her. He's been living on an island out in out in the Mediterranean, pretty much low key. He didn't do a lot, and he knew about, and he's so proud. And this is stuff that really, because this was getting to me. I was like, oh, he watched her. He knew who he was, you know. And he's like, I'll even read what he said about her because that was really touching, and I was really enjoying that. Okay, so um, uh, at one point, um, he basically Hercules was living in Oregon for a long time. An associate of his called Mr. Hopper was there, and uh, basically, and Mr. Hopper was to give Diana this letter from Hercules once uh, was in his cabin, and now he even says this: it's your cabin now. And this is what Hercules said. He says, "My sister, it's with great pride I have watched your exploits unfold. You are beloved by all. You truly are a wonder. I thought many times I should let you know of my existence, but my prior actions, more ancient past than recent times, admittedly now consume me with shame. I was not always nice. I was not always good, and I'm sorry for those misdeeds and wrongs. I want nothing to do with the past and the past Hercules of legend, so I hide away like a craven coward." Look at that. You see that? You hear that? Like, he even admits, like, some of the misdeeds he's done. He feels ashamed about it. He, I am proud of this. No, but it's as if it should be of that, I'm sure. So why are you my heir? Diana is Hercules' heir. First, if you are reading this, then I'm dead. I hope I died well. I give all I have to you, Diana, so good, so true, because I can think of nothing, no other worthy, no worthy material thing. Although material things, so very little, I know it's knowledge I have, something I swore to keep secret at the behest of Gallus, who I think once rode as a crewman of the Argo along the original Jason. An immortal like I, Gallus was a baby to raise, a boy given after the Argonauts' leader. He too is Jason, your twin brother. So once again, we got another brother. Basically, Diana has a twin brother. My brother too, as you are my sis. Uh, so yeah, Diana gets a letter from Hercules, leaving all his worldly possessions, everything, including the including including the Nemean lion, that he on his first one of his first labors, the Nemean lion that he killed. Well, remember, if you know the 12 labors of Hercules, the Nemean lion could not be killed with ordinary weapons. Hercules had to use the lion's own claws to kill him. But yeah, she gives everything to him, along with coordinates to where you can find her twin brother. And it ends with Diana meeting her twin brother. I'll show it. I'm going to show it to you. Um, right here. There he is. And he knows her too. And he's been waiting to meet her. So Wonder Woman has a twin brother, y'all. Um, this was just really good, because being a big Greek mythology buff that I am, and I love Hercules, I always, but the DC Hercules really kind of depicts the character a little differently than what Marvel does. Even though I kind of tend to like Marvel's Hercules a lot better, but this was just really good. A touching love letter, like a note to how would you feel like you've been around longer than your sister, but you never you wanted to meet her, but you felt so ashamed about certain things of your actions from your past that you didn't want to bring that into your sibling's life. So you stayed in the shadows, but applauded everything she did. That was something that touched me. I was just like, and I really enjoyed that. This is why this book makes my pick of the week for the week of October 11th. And I'm looking forward to reading more of this story arc. But this was a story arc I was waiting to meet. It was like, when will Diana meet her other famous, siblings? Now, it makes me wonder: will she meet Apollo? Will she, Hercules? They even go into detail like Hercules had a lot of kids. He fathered a lot of kids in this, and it's just like, yeah, he kind of somewhat followed in the footsteps of his own daddy. You know, Zeus was the biggest player of them all. He couldn't keep it in his pants. So she's a prime example of that. But yeah, this was really good. I really enjoyed this, guys. Well, guys, that is it. Those are the books I read for October 11th, for the week of October 11th. My pick of the week was Wonder Woman number 32. I will be back with the books that I picked up for this week and the following week as well, and the week that's coming next. So you won't see the review to those books. Like I said, I don't pick up. I pick up my books every other week, bi-weekly now. So, but you will see those reviews as always. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. As always, it's Mom and Kids saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, and I apologize for like the glare and you were hearing people in the background, but I got company. But other than that, you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time.